whatever the case may be, and they've been made extinct. You don't have the information and the data, so you can't give an accurate portrayal of where anybody came from. But I'm going to say this. By the time these people are done, the ancient Americans that they found here, who today are what's left of them are called African Americans, what could wind up happening with these people, if you trust these people to tell you through DNA evidence where in the world you came from, and I think there may be one group out there that's trying to tell the truth about this whole thing, they're going to do whatever they need to do to make sure that your African-American butt is from anywhere but America. They'll make you Scottish, Irish, they'll make you German or Chinese before they let you be an autochthonous Aboriginal American. Now, what time is it? Okay, I got a couple more minutes to go. I'm saying all that to say, when it comes to the people that are identified as the scholars of the world, and you can't believe anything these niggers have to say because it's not backed up by scholarship, I submit that it is. But, you know, if you decide, oh, no, you don't have a PhD, or no, you're not a part of this organization, you're not a part of that organization, so what you have to say doesn't matter. Nobody's going to listen to you. You don't count. That's all a part of some little group in league, all following orders under the Jesuit European warriors. Maybe that's what Jew means, J-E-W, Jesuit European warriors. But having said that, I think that people need to think twice about what is and is not true, because it's not backed up by the historians, or it's not backed up by the archaeologists, or it's not backed up by DNA evidence, because it's not to the advantage of these people to tell the truth to anyone about anything. Now, here's an example of some of this hostility that we're talking about. And remember I said, I don't give a rat's crap about anybody's race, culture, identity, sexual preference, hair. I don't care what you're doing as long as everybody's agreeing to be somewhere. But one of my friends, who's also a listener, I hate the word friend, comrades, who's also a listener, contacted me. He was like, Yaffa, you know, just like the other brother, this is verification and validation of what you're saying. There's a little Jewish boy, 8 years old, went walking off to school or walking back from school Monday, and he's one of these Hasidic that has a little curly Q down the side of his face. This little dude came up missing. Apparently they found him today, I guess. They found him today. And he had been cut up into little body parts and was stuffed in some freezer by another so-called Jew. And remember I said there are people out here that are saying they're Jews, and they're not. They are lying. Like George Bush Jr. and them say they're Jews. Homeboy, hold up. If you're Jewish, I am a dolphin, a killer whale, and a great white shark all in one. Either that or I don't know what the hell a Jew is. Seriously. So if he can say he's Jewish, I got to go, okay, what the hell is that exactly? The only thing I can think that it must be is some acronym for something else that they've stolen and applied it to the culture. They've stolen from the culture of people or the race of people, you know, whatever this thing is that is a real Jew, and they've come up with something else that they're calling Jews. Like you have people that are invaders that say they're Mexican, and you have invaders that say they're Indian, and you have the invaders that say they're Egyptian. I think you have to go into some of the historical research. But I'm going to get back into that in a minute. I'm going to see if I can get my sister on the phone, because there's a lot more I want to say about that. The only reason I'm talking about it is because these are people that contact me back after they do their due diligence, and they say, yo, you know, here's verification about what you're talking about. This is validation about what you're talking about. No child should be treated like that. And I submit to you, when they get through doing the research, they're going to probably find that that poor baby was also sodomized, raped, and molested. Now, they may or may not disclose that about the baby, but somebody out here is lying about something. And this child was stuffed in that refrigerator in the freezer like that. This fool was going to eat this child. And people think I'm making shit up and I sound like a racist. No, I don't. And I've said it before. All children are in danger right now. I don't care what so-called color they are. Because there are some people, they only want male children. They don't care what colored male, what race of male, as long as it's a little male child. Some of them, they must be blonde hair with blue eyes. Some of them, they got to be so-called African-American. I was walking down the street one day with my little twin nephews. We were walking through a mall or something. And this old old European men. Now, the boys must have been 4 at the time, and I think they're like 8 now. They'll be 9 in December. But they were like 4 at the time, maybe 5, and we were walking through the mall in Southern California. And this old dude walked by, and he was really old, you know, either that or, you know, 'cause a lot of Europeans don't age the way melanin rich people do. But he looked to me like he must have been pushing 70, 80, somewhere between 70 and 85, I would put him. And I think when you get a certain age, you have a tendency to not realize what you're saying. He went by, and he was like, oh, how little black boys. How cute. I just love little black boys. Oh, my God, I just love little black boys. And, you know, I was like, you guys, come on, you guys, let's go. Because he was trying to reach for them, and I was like, we need to keep going this way. And all I could see is, okay, child molester, child molester, child molester. That's what I saw. But you guys hold the thought, and let me see if I can bring my sister on the line. And when I'm done letting her say what I need her to say this to you guys, then I'm going to get back into what I'm talking about, and I'll see as I go how I'm guided as far as what to give you, if we're going to go spiritual today, if we're just going to get back into historical stuff and go legal. We'll know by the time it's over. Don't play any music or anything. Just hold that thought. Don't go nowhere. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your tolerance and for your patience, for waiting patiently while I got my sister online. This is one of my dearest C-stars. When I say C-star, we're not genetically sisters, but she's like a sister to me. There's some information that I want her to give you about somebody that's being lied on. And we're not going to tell you who it is until after she's done telling you what she needs to tell you. Sister, there's some things that you wanted to share about a utopian life and a utopian way to live. Tell us about what would be an ideal way of living.
Okay. These are some eloquent facts. And the GDP per capita is $14,192. Unemployment benefits are $730. Each family member is subsidized by the state and annually gets $1,000 per family member. Salary for nurses is $1,000. For every newborn, you get paid $7,000. A married couple receives $64,000 to purchase an apartment. Major taxes and levies are prohibited. To open a personal business, you get a one-time financial assistance of $20,000. Education and medicine are free. Educational internships abroad are paid for by your government. Stores for large families with symbolic prices for basic foodstuffs. Part of pharmacies have free dispensing. Loans for buying a car and an apartment, there's no interest. Real estate services are prohibited. Buying a car, you get paid 50% of the purchase price to buy a car. There's no payment for electricity. Sales and the use of alcohol is prohibited. Gasoline is at 14 cents a gallon. and you have some of the purest water in the world sitting up underneath your landmass.
That have been accessed for drinking. Now, if you want to go and let's say you want to go to college anywhere in the world, tell me about what that's like.
Well,
in this place,
housing is paid, your tuition is paid for, your books are paid for, and you get a stipend to live on.
And that's in any country you choose to go to in the world.
Any country you choose to go to school at in the world.
Is there anything else you want to share about this utopian place?
Well, it's called Libya, folks.
There you go. That's how people are living under Gaddafi. While they're lying on this dude, these people are jealous, trying to do hostile takeover because it's like, oh no, you cannot have people living this well. They must be living under oppression the way they are everywhere else in the world. That's what's going on in Libya. That's what's not getting out. That's the truth that's not coming out about this brother. And he is a brother. Like Hugo Chavez is a brother. They're brothers, and they'll tell you, oh, yeah, I'm part African. Is that right, sis?
That's right. That's right. And the reason why, because I met Libyans that came over here, and they were going to school back in the 70s, and they were over here so they could build up their country, and they absolutely loved Muammar Gaddafi because, you know, they have the highest standard of living of any nation on the continent of Africa, and when he came to power, there was only 22% literacy. Now it's 93% literacy. So 93% of the population is educated, and he not only, you know, pays for people in his country to go to school, but he pays for other people throughout the continent of Africa who want to go to school, because I met some Ugandans that he had sponsored to go to school over here in the United States back in the 70s.
14 cents a gallon for gas?
Yes.
When I was a child, I think gas was 25 cents a gallon. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen it at 14 cents a gallon.
And
that's today. Well, we're almost paying $5 in some cities. But go ahead, sis. My bad.
And you know, these are just things people need to know about the man, because you have all this stuff on the news talking about he's a dictator, and I said, well, I could live under that. I could live, you know, under that, knowing that I don't have to pay for electricity. I don't really, you know, the food that I'm buying, the prices are so low, and I can go to the doctor when I want to. And if they cannot perform the surgery in that country, they will send you wherever they have a specialist who can perform the surgery.
And you don't pay for that.
And your family up and take care of everything. So I think I could live under that.
And whether she could live under it or not is not so much the point. The point that is being made by me for bringing this sister on is what I'm always saying. There are control freaks trying to control the whole damn planet. And for the most part, they are child molesters and child murderers at that. And they're controlling the media. And I think a lot of these people, whoever they are, they're lying about who they are. They're calling themselves Jews and trying to badmouth people that are called Jews because they're on some whole, like I said, if George Bush is one, then I really need to ask the question exactly what the hell is a Jew? The truth needs to come out about what's going on. People don't know, and there are people that don't want you to know because they're on the control freak agenda. Remember I said back in the day, Libya was one of the countries that did not want to accept the International Bankers Bank. I gave you 5, and I said these 5 are going to be targeted for onslaught of war because you got a bunch of control freaks that are criminals. We have a criminal element that has infiltrated everybody's race and culture. They've infiltrated everybody's organization, and they've infiltrated everybody's, damn near everybody's government. There are only a couple of them left standing that they haven't gotten their foot in with their nonsense. And what they're doing is they're lying to the rest of the world using the media that they control about who these people are and what's going on in places. Is there anything else you wanted to add, sis? Because I know you've had a long day.
No, that's it. I just, you know, that's all that I had to say about the matter, and that people really need to look into other things before they believe everything that's put out here in the media, because they're going to put all kind of stuff out there so that they can have, you know, cheerleaders, you know, saying, yes, he's a dictator. It's like, well, hell, we've been living under a dictatorship since I don't know when. And we don't get any of this stuff. It's like, you know, you can barely get the things that are yours. You know, it's like now they want to tell you that Social Security is an entitlement. They're trying to, after taking out of your check every payday. All those years that you've worked, And then they try to say Medicare is an entitlement after they took that money out of your check for all those years that you worked.